Welcome to Unmasked, a video voyage of all things villain. I'm Fawful's Minion, your alliterating overlord, and this is Gruntilda.
Witchy bitch go.
I'm not typically one to say I'm sick of depraved demon dickery, but man, just a pint of levity would be magic. Rare's own Femme Bowser, long before that would ever got, has been pestering me in rhyme for her exclusive invite since second one of this show's conception. And making sure to faithfully recite history, I had to deal with a lot of bad before her spell could bind. One's down. You ain't blocking this if you tried. From origin to powers, to drive to feats. Which number are you in the gallery of rogues? Join me in hand. This mask's coming off. Betwixt playful reality and anxious fantasy lay a kingly isle, crowned by the shape of a spiral. A lonely ridge once hosting a term of scholastic magic fated to transform the mountain and beyond. An esteemed weirdo shaman honing the impressive skills of his even weirder apprentice. A duo soon to reverse ranks. Student mysteriously bests teacher with his own granted knowledge. Cursed with the very same hideousness which descended his pupil into tyranny. The now disfigured mumbo-jumbo, doomed to remain so until the day his ex-inferior ceases to reign superior. From then on, all lives spent on the solitary island stood in unified fear of the now wicked witch of the best. The now cracked witch asserted dominance with her newfound, uncontested mastery of magic, usurping and branding the entire island in her paint-peeling image. The now Isle of Hags played host to all of Gruntilda's fun and games. Entire domains converted to personal landmarks. The whole world interconnected through her comically pronounced passion for industrialization, and many an inhabitant fearfully following close behind to the point of slavery. Keeping control of several magical unions such as the Jinjos and even her own damn family through mystic, technical, and verbal power play. Eventually amassing so much sanctioned authority across the land, she was able to curse the entire sect of priests within the sacred Jiggy Order, rendering the guardians of these holy building blocks unable to uphold the magical gateways, holding the 17 worlds together. Gruntilda's escalated seat of power warranted an impossibly massive interior castle carved into the entire northern face of Spiral Mountain itself, where she held the entire Jinjo civilization, nearly a third of all known Jiggies, and over half of the island's world's prisoner in her gargantuan lair. Way to put the whore in order, but she just had to have more. Thus, the biggest mistake of her life came to pass. Stealing my boy Banjo's kid sister and expecting to live to see her waistline. So, what do we think? I dig it like BK did her grave. Surprisingly deep enough to fit her fat ass when equipped with all the scatter detail. Sure, you gotta rifle through the damn manual, the GBA game, and compile at your own liberty, but the intensity really sneaks up on you. I bet over half of you never even knew Mumbo played such a big part, and realizing just how much dominance she logically had to have before even ever meeting Banjo and Kazooie, you really have to wonder what else she's actually responsible for. Did she create any of these realms? Is she the cause of Kazooie's blatantly obvious magical genetics? Speculate and appreciate. First time tackling something not from hell or space hell, maybe this won't be so daunting. While it may certainly depend on the perspective, I have my personal doubts that Majora could actually take her. I don't know what in the goddamn shit Mumbo actually taught her, but it certainly isn't of this already magical realm. Being an endearingly classic pastiche of the prototypical witch, Gruntilda technically ain't all that different from the demons of yester episode, invoking enchanted domination upon all which her mortal sensibilities care to rule, applying all her teachings from Mumbo Jumbo towards her putridly toxic aura, evolved black magic into whack magic. Favoring blunt mystic attrition, Grunty turns to the classical kill spells for much of her offense. Fireballs, seeker shots, blindingly fast plasma blasts, and quite possibly the first Avada Kedavra ripoff in existence. Seriously, same color, same effect, only 4 months later. Huh. Grimy bitch with an unspeakable last name. Never mind, not a ripoff. Grunty even employs magic to spell check her damn aim, bringing her otherwise mortal margin for error to near extinction with some of the best projectile tracking I have ever seen. Holy shit! Making sure the same bullet hell isn't returned, her incredibly powerful shield charm blocks nearly all opposing attacks. Of course, a major magical antagonist wouldn't be right without a mastery of curses, hexing the sacred Jiggy Guardians, forbidding their custody of the world gateways, imprisoning many of those world gateways in her giant lair, bewitching anybody she doesn't like with deformities, and by proxy of being by far the most powerful magical being on the island. She very likely possesses every single spell her old teacher Mumbo can cast. Healing, object animation, levitation, electrical energizing, water oxygenizing, size altering, electromagnetic pulses, necromancy, rain conjuring, even time travel. There's decent reason to assume this, considering both she and Mumbo perform the same time travel spells back to back in the opening of Grunty's Revenge, which is canon, BT dubs. I can't say for sure whether or not she requires consumables for those spells like Mumbo does, but I'm very confident that she has those same abilities to some extent. Speaking of which, old Hagbag can definitely perform the same transformation spells as Mumbo, considering she was scripted to turn Banjo and Kazooie into a frog in the original game's original ending. That said, termite, crocodile, pumpkin, walrus, bee, shaman sticks and magic pool sold separately, globos not included. Jeez! But like a max budget British comedian, irony went to town on the stereotypes, turning this already formidable spellcaster into a crafty tech nut. Yes, this iconic staple of classical magic actually favors mechanical engineering. Bitch watched too much Frankenstein trilogy and opts to use her god-pissing off energy as fancy farmer's market dip for her decadent microchips. Grunty's inventions are not first grader science fair fare, and are applied to a whole manner of hellish havoc. Beauty transference pods, a visually impaired Goliath of a sentient welding torch, bulky combat robot fueled by her damn soul, a gargantuan life-siphoning doomsday laser named Bob, and her crown jewel, the Hag 1, a monstrous drill tank packing apocalyptic heat. You think that's enough? Ding dong, the witch is dead. Bullshit! Bullshit! Gruntilda's greatest strength of all is something only a selfish, uninhibited bully could ever consider a good thing: immortality. Oh no, I'm not shitting you. Her allegiance to black magic is so deeply wired, not a damn thing that has ever thrown an attempt at her life has ever succeeded. Falling miles down off the top of her tower, getting crushed and imprisoned for years by a massive boulder, rotting and decaying to nothing but bleached bone, blown to pieces by an explosion strong enough to burst a doomsday tank, reduced to nothing but a goddamn skull, and she's still alive. Gruntilda is one of the only gaming villains I know to have never, ever legitimately died from life-ending scenarios, without retcons, without reincarnation. Not even Bowser can claim that achievement. Also, she can randomly narrate and watch you from basically anywhere and erase your goddamn save data. You know, bitch, I don't think that's what metaphysical actually means, but okay. Most powerful thing any game character can do, and it's a cheating joke. Confidently assuming it's not literally God's bathwater, ain't no fucking way a simple bucket of agua is gonna melt what's legitimately the most powerful witch I've ever seen. How do you defeat the historically unkillable Queen of Wicca? Make her a dumbass? Gruntilda is a cartoon. A caricature of that old animated adage of comically ridiculous superpowers being balanced by conveniently coincidental writing being hilarious. On paper, the old bitch is actually debatably stronger than Majora. But you know what else is written on that paper? A lot of jokes. And the funniest one of all is her hubris. Gruntilda is nerfed hard by her pride and sloth, getting way too comfy when she's at the top, a place where she always thinks she is, and lazily lying back at the cushy leisure of her absurdly powerful magic and tech. She never, not once, takes Banjo and Kazooie seriously, folding under her unfounded confidence that they'll never make it farther, never gather the jiggies, never kick her fat ass, even after they did it twice. Her ego is so problematically huge that she literally watches and taunts the duo live via magical intercom, even handing out quiz questions and going easier on them if they answer them right. Bitch, do you wanna win? I mean, wow! This hoe's more memeably lazy than Watch Mojo. Not to mention, she never uses her massive reach to keep tabs and info on her greatest enemies. Like extremely knowledgeable mole brothers that teach new skills to specifically bears and birds, that specifically answer to your systematically placed traps and trials. It's almost like she was making a game. Oh. This classically smug shadow incompetence is a staple, borderline cliche of cartoon, hell, animated villains, because it's hilarious when delivered properly. Gruntilda definitely does that. And I kinda like it, cause it's amusing to see such legitimate supernatural power be written into what's essentially G-rated British Deadpool. Beyond that, there's the obvious. Banjo and Kazooie were literally put on this polygonal earth to cave her caveman face in. Always there to collect what's stolen, restore the jiggy gateways, and save everyone targeted by her raised fist. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Banjo to death. Best damn bear ever. Fuck you, Smokey. But specifically, Kazooie threatens Gruntilda more than any single hero. Banjo can't even hit Grunty, and it's Kazooie's added magical power that truly brings the hurt on her. Ranged offense with the 5 egg types, meeting her in the air via flight, absolutely thrashing her with beak bombs and rat-a-tat raps, nullifying her spells with Wonder Wing. It's no wonder why she went back in time to stop the two from meeting. One of the only times she used her brain, and it was specifically to get rid of Kazooie. Says a ton. But that's not the only magical figure Grunty fears. Ever wonder why the hell Jinjos are a consistent collectible throughout the series? You know, those little Technicolor, vaguely reptilian plushy people? Yeah, they're religious. Say hello to the Jinjonator. This sacred idol is the only thing that Gruntilda takes seriously 100% of the time, making her visibly quiver upon its awakening. It contains enough sheer magical oomph to rip through the witch's impenetrable shield spell and ram her Jabba the Slut cake off her Doug Dimmadome castle. Grunty clearly kidnapped the Jinjos to keep their oracle in stasis. But then, what is a cage? Wow, to think we might actually drive straight for a change. With how surprising Gruntilda's ensemble of strengths were, something had to give. And something that's definitely not surprising is her drive. Grunty is, or was, oppressed. If we're to believe her sister Gruntilda, she was, different, washing her hair with baked beans, inhaling the fresh aroma of freshly burst boils, and mukbanging some yummy dog dung burgers. Look, bullying is wrong, but goddamn, ho, at least wear the paper bags you make people throw up in, you nasty. So instead of cleaning up and maybe quitting cold, moldy, maggot-rich turkey, she takes it out on everyone else. She can't stand being called ugly, and despite it being as appropriate as calling flowers plants, that's all she needs to justify kidnapping a pretty little girl, literally Snow White style, to steal her beauty, siphoning the life force of an entire damn island to restore her ironically uglier fleshy body. She's really got something to prove, even if it's pointless. I mean, is turning into Rule 34 bait really gonna quell those cravings for pan-fried feces? It's clear to a sizable degree that she's just a trash person in general. I mean, if your last name was Winky Bunyan, you'd probably act out too. Literally beating her minions senselessly if they screw up, completely foregoing mandated amusement park safety laws, killing a cute little mole when he's playing poker, turning her teacher into a science class prop, killing her own sisters in a death stakes quiz show. Yeah, she's a bitch. Never trust anyone who has a favorite flavor of toxic gas. For someone often touted as a giant joke, Gruntilda is actually more successful than most comedic villains. Although aloof to a career-gimping fault, she is ultimately respected via fear and has influenced the world she walks in a lasting form. Running down this list, Gruntilda has permanently deformed Mumbo Jumbo, her old master with a skeletal face, though he shares that the look has grown on him, crushed and killed the Grey Jinjo family with her giant digger tank, Avada Kedavra, one of Banjo's closest friends, Bottles, albeit temporary, siphoned the life force from the Jinjo King, turning him into a zombie, though just like Bottles, it was temporary, cursed Master Jiggy Wiggy and his priest, preventing them from even touching their world-preserving artifacts, somehow managed to imprison the gateways to 9 of the 17 worlds from Isle of Hags within her mountain lair, built and managed one of the greatest gaming overworlds of all time as her personal home, murdered her 2 less than pleasant sisters and their cat, Acme style, not temporary, built both a vile haunted mansion and horrendously dangerous amusement park on top of what must have been peaceful ground, over commercializing all living things to death and treating employees like shit even she won't eat, created Grunty Industries, who mass-produced inventions, reduced the quality of life all across the land. Said industrialization of hers commonly twisted and polluted the Isle's worlds, ripped the pages out of her spellbook, Cheeto thus essentially crippling him, and somehow managed to never die, despite many gruesome attempts on her life. You know, saying out loud, I realize she's not a fictional witch at all. She's just an American CEO. At last he did break down the wicked old witch. Good fucking lord, what a cruel, nasty ass bitch. Capital job done at the hands of Rare. A silly force of fiction to slander I wouldn't dare. Gruntilda is one of the best silly villains ever created. The culmination of whacked out magical conjuring and heavy-handed machinery soundtrack to a nonchalant steam pot of classic witch stereotypes, both cheesy and sinister. It's admirable to see such comedic versatility in something so discreetly intense. It's really hard to remain a threat while being funny, so you gotta make sure you never forget the few masters who still remain. Literally immortal proof that you can take nothing seriously and still play a serious part in someone's heart. That was Unmasked. I'm Fawful's Minion, and you have my thanks. Farewell. And now, give it up for the high-tier patrons. A4X Guy, Akuma Kuma, Alex S. Warrior, Alfredo Jones, and Tasma Akumu, Arctic Kaiju, Azazel the Undying, BF Rio, Beast Gamer, Burn 100B, Chibi Emiko, Kortamunch 437, Dark Lord Bloody Soul, Diamond Ice, Double N, Eddie Talkspin, Eileen Tayasi, Emerald-192, Emily Infinite, Falku, Fencer de Rio, Flame Chocobo, GamerFan64, Goldsbro, TSG, Hero for Life, Ignitalis Gaming, Jake the Snake Arenstom, Jobot.11, Josie Baird, Justin Beliveau, JW Goji Fan, K-Dog, Kirby 484, Nightmare Steel, Kyle Wee 21, Love, Lucario Smash 246, Luke Johnston, Maze Arcana, Mailman 019, Masao, Mathtron 5000, Matthew Smith, Morgan Arvite, Nathaniel Sterling, Panther J, Patrick Sandlin, Peter Shepard, put 9 volt in Smash Bros, please. Renaku, Lord of Shadow, Roberto del Fuego, Shining Silvally 777, Skellington 977, Spencer Studios, The Gag Reflex, Thomas Drury, Tubazone 1989, Zay Zandeler, Exaox, The Digital Nugget, Nekamax, The Ultimate Sora, Alpha Red, Demented Duskull, Foxmiss Productions, That Pyra Main, Kevin Taylor, Dylan Mitchell, The Last Ace 378, Kairu Shinobi, Munchrai, Nova Strife, Philip Cross, Anthony Lucero, Augie and Panichu, Crunchy Boy, Dr. Dark 7, Mitchell Roberts, Midnight Matter, and Shade 2800. May we meet again!